Hello, Ken Artizone here again. I'm going to do the top 50 movies of all time that are my favorites. Now, this is a very hard list to compose because I've seen over 1,000 movies. Some are classics, some are good, some are average, and some are absolutely awful. How do I distinguish the movies in my top 50? Well, will I want to watch it the second time, the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time? That's how to determine my top 50. And my list, I've seen them multiple times. And I enjoyed the actors, the actresses, I enjoyed the scripts. And I like all movie genres, whether it be drama, it's my favorite, action, comedy, mystery, science fiction, western, romances, crime, and even variety. So all types of movies are in my list. What do I want when I watch a movie? I want the actor or the actress to convince me that they are fictionally that person. A lot of times that happens. Second thing I like in a movie is the premise of the story has to introduce and explain what the movie's all about. Don't confuse me. Start off with a premise, continue it, and then have a successful conclusion. So that's what I want in a movie. 3, give me different points of view, different stories, different outlooks, focus, perspectives that I haven't seen before. Intrigue my fantasy. 4, uplift it, be consistent. And 5, make it high quality and memorable. So that's my criteria for watching movies. My list, I have 12 dramas, 7 actions, 6 science fictions, 5 mysteries, 5 sports, 4 epics, 3 westerns, romances, 3 comedy, fantasy, and musicals. They're all on my list in my top 50. So I would say the best decade on my movie list is the 1960s. Then I would say the 1980s were good, 1990s, 2000s. I have some in the 1950s. I have some in the 1970s, 1940s. I have 2 in the 1930s. And even 2 in 2010 beyond. Today, movie making is not that great. Few here and there. Let's see. Leading the actor category, James Stewart. I've got him, Gene Hackman, Yul Brynner, Charlton Heston, Gary Cooper, Steve McQueen, Roger Moore, Clint Eastwood, Lon Chaney, Kurt Russell. I've got Kevin Costner, Ray Milland, Marlon Brando, Sean Connery. So those are the leading ones I have. And obviously in the other movies I have, you have other leading actors. In the actress category, Grace Kelly has the most. And you have Julie Andrews, Gail Gadot, Sandra Bullock, Raquel Welch, Doris Day, Judy Garland, Natalie Wood, and Fay Wray. So I left a lot of movies off my list, my top 50. It's hard to do. The AFI, have you heard of them? They composed the 100 greatest movies of all time. They had Citizen Kane at number 1. Sorry, not on my list. They put the Godfather series in there, very highly rated. It's not on my list. Casablanca didn't make the cut. Raging Bull, Rocky movies, Gone with the Wind, Lawrence of Arabia, Schindler's List. They're not in my top 50. I have about 4 Alfred Hitchcock movies in my list. You'll see when I list it. My apologies to Psycho, Vertigo, Torn Curtain, and North by Northwest. They were good movies, but they're not on my list. Star Wars movies, I don't have any, but they're good. Same with the Star Trek franchise. I like Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, but none of them made my top 50. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I love the soundtrack, but it's not on my list. The Twilight series, vampires, werewolves, they were fun to watch. Apocalypse Now, Platoon didn't make it. Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal didn't make it. Pulp Fiction, Clockwork Orange. Too much drugs, gutter language, a little vulgar. Comedies, I have a few on my list. The Naked Gun, Animal House, and National Lampoon Vacation movies didn't make the list. Home Alone, Something About Mary, a little goofy. Harry Met Sally, Cat Ballou, Mrs. Doubtfire. That was hideous. I'm not going to waste my time. Bull Durham didn't make it. Nutty Professor. You know, count me out with any movie that has Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, and Mike Myers. I don't laugh. Woody Allen, no thanks. Annie Hall, kind of slapstick, toilet humor. Bar scenes, sex jokes, bathroom scenes, falling down, someone screams, kickings, elevator lovemaking. Those movies are not on my list. Westerns, I've got a lot of Westerns on my list, and I'll mention them. Clint Eastwood, he's done a lot of them. John Wayne's done a lot of them. Steve McQueen. Poor Westerns where you just have fighting of cowboys and Indians on horses and horses fall down, or the saloon scenes, shoot 'em up, fighting scenes. Some of those are poorly done, but others were done very well, and I'll mention them when I get to my list. Let's see, sports movies are on my list. Baseball, I've got a couple. I got one basketball movie on my list. The golf and football movies don't work. Hockey movies don't work. Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, Jerry Maguire, Major League, The Natural. Let's see, fantasy movies are on my list. I got one. Some girl named Dorothy and a dog named Toto made my list. The E.T. movies didn't work. Toy Story, I like those. Those are for kids. Lion King, Pinocchio, Shrek, Cinderella, they're okay. Snow White. Lord of the Rings didn't make it. Star Wars movies didn't make it. But I like them. Harry Potter movies didn't make it either. Gangster movies. Bonnie and Clyde didn't make it. The Departed, too vulgar. James Cagney, he was a gangster. Science fictions, I've got a couple in my list. Alien movies didn't make it. Back to the Future, that was fun, but not on there. Avatar, I thought that was a cartoon. The Matrix, too surreal. Interstellar, The Martian, okay, but didn't make it. 2001 Space Odyssey, I'd rank them higher. Independence Day, Armageddon, Jurassic Park movies, dinosaurs, I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean series, no. Mystery movies, I've got some on my list, but these other mysteries, kind of ridiculous. The Usual Suspects, Seven, Memento, Sixth Sense, Inception, Phone Booth, kind of comical. I've got horror movies on my list. You'd be surprised. Some demon-possessed girl named Regan. You know which movie that one is? I've got a hairy creature who climbs the Empire State Building and falls in love with a girl. He's on my list. I'll tell you who it is. Other horror flicks are just way out of bounds. I need substance. I need good storytelling, and the Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I liked one of them, the original, but the rest of them too gory. You need a script. You need a story. The first Chainsaw, the girl running away, I was intrigued, but the others were awful. Halloween movies, Scream movies, no. The Ring, no. I like the original monster movies in the 30s and 40s. Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Wolfman, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and The Invisible Man. All those kind of movies I liked, and a couple are on my list. Phantom of the Opera, Jekyll and Hyde. Romance movies, I've got a couple. Dirty Dancing didn't make the list. While You Were Sleeping, Affair to Remember, they're good movies. But comic nudity, not my cup of tea. The Proposal, Pretty Woman, I left them off my list. War movies, best one I think is Saving Private Ryan. The Dirty Dozen, American Sniper, Lone Survivor, they were good movies. Political movies tend to fall flat. JFK was the best one, but 13 Days and Lincoln and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington didn't work for me. Action movies, without a doubt, are on my list. The Bond series, I've got some. Let's see. I thought Sean Connery was the best Bond, then followed by Roger Moore. So I've got him on my list. Daniel Craig is good. Fast and Furious series is good. I don't have him on my list, though. And same with the Jason Bourne and Die Hard series. I left them off my list, but they're good. Spider-Man, Iron Man. Quentin Tarantino, he's a director. He's done a lot of movies, but he's a little out of bounds. But the only one I liked that he did was Kill Bill, but I don't have it on my list. Planet of the Apes, there's a lot of movies. Beneath the Planet, Conquest of the Planet, Back to the Planet. First Planet of the Apes is good, but after that, I gave up on, Conquest Apes, Beneath Apes, Return Apes, War Apes, Rise Apes, Dawn Apes, Escape Apes, Battle Apes. Got too much for me. Captain America series with the Avengers. It's okay. I like Superman, Batman better. Let's see. Car chasing movies. Bullet. That was a good one. Dirty Harry. Matt Helm. And Flint. Don't compare to the Bond series. Disaster movies. I've got them on my list. Earthquake, Volcano, The Impossible, Avalanche, Backdraft, those kind of movies. Towering Inferno, that was good. So I've got a couple on my list. Academy Award movies. I've got a couple on my list. I'll name them when I get to them. But some of the Academy has gone off track. They're giving Best Picture to low-budget movies. One movie grossed over $400 million, and another movie grossed $20 million. And they give the Academy Award to the one who has $20 million. I don't get it. I'll give you an example. Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture. Jodie Foster, the detective, and Anthony Hopkins. Some people rave about it, but not me. I didn't go for that. I remember in 1939, you have The Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind. Those are classics. Gone with the Wind won that year. Oh, let's see. But you know what? I would have gone with The Wizard of Oz because everyone talks about that movie. But they gave it to Gone with the Wind, the Academy Award. 1952, High Noon was nominated, but they gave it to The Greatest Show on Earth. I would have taken High Noon in that one. 1953, From Here to Eternity won the Academy Award. I would have given it to Shane. In 1956, The Ten Commandments was nominated, but they gave it to Around the World in 80 Days. So I'm just giving you examples that I think the Academy sometimes gets it wrong. I think they got it right in 1959 when they gave the Academy Award to Ben-Hur. Let's see, 1962, there was Mutiny on the Bounty. I thought that was an excellent movie, but they gave it to Lawrence of Arabia. That's not on my list. 1963, The Birds was not even nominated. Remember The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock? That was shameful. You know who won that year? Tom Jones. I think The Birds is better than Tom Jones, and I didn't even see Tom Jones. I have no interest. 1964, Mary Poppins was nominated. That should have won, but they gave it to My Fair Lady. 1970, Patton won the Academy Award. That year I would have given it to Love Story. 1973, The Exorcist was nominated. I would have given it to The Sting. No, The Sting won. I would have given it to The Exorcist. Okay. Then in 1989, Field of Dreams was nominated, and they gave it to Driving Miss Daisy. Field of Dreams is a much better movie. And then Forrest Gump won in 1994. But you know who should have won that year? The Shawshank Redemption. So I'm giving an example, and here's the worst one of all. Shakespeare in Love won the Academy Award, but you know who was nominated? Saving Private Ryan. What's a better movie? Saving Private Ryan. And then in 2012, Argo won Best Picture. I would have given it to Zero Dark 30 that year. So, and you know that year? Passion of the Christ, which had $500 million gross, was not even nominated. See how the Academy Award. But I can go on and on watching movies. So let's get started with my top 50 and count down to number 1, okay? Of my favorite movies of all time. Here we go. Coming in at number 50, I'll show you the picture here. John Wayne, the Duke. What's his movie? Rio Bravo. It's a classic Western. He also did Rio Grande, and he's done many more Westerns. I recommend that one. I'm going to put that in my top 50, coming in at number 50. Rio Bravo. I'm going to count down. I'll show you the DVD cover, okay? Maybe try to explain on each movie. 49. Zero Dark 30. The Hunt for Osama bin Laden. Maya leads the investigation, tracks him down in Pakistan, and then the SEAL team goes in and takes him out. I thought that was a very well done movie. Zero Dark 30, coming in at number 49. 48. I'm going to get into some political movies. Arlington Road, Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges. Very well done. There's a bomb for the FBI headquarters, and you got to figure out where it's going to explode. I'll try to be simple. I recommend Arlington Road, political movie. And here's another one coming in at number, let's see here. I've got 50, 49, 48. This will be number 47. Here's what I'll do. I'll count down so we keep the number going, all right? So here we go. This one is number 46. The Shawshank Redemption. Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins. I've got that on my list. Okay. Coming in at number 46. 45. 12 Angry Men with Henry Fonda. He's the lone juror who thinks that the boy is innocent, and he has to convince the other 11 jurors that the boy did not kill his father. So it's 12 Angry Men. Check that one out. That comes in at number 45. Okay. 44. Wonder Woman. This is the superhero genre. Gal Gadot fights the villains. But it's a very well done movie. Starts from her childhood and goes up to the present. Crime fighting. I recommend this one. Wonder Woman. Coming in at number 45. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to keep track of these. 45. So 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. That was number 45. I want to keep the number correct. Superhero again. 44. Justice League. I like this one. Why? You have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg. All in one movie. Justice League. I recommend that one. 44 on my list. 43. Now we'll get into some religious movies. The Ten Commandments. Charlton Heston as Moses and Yul Brynner as Pharaoh Ramses. 1956. The Ten Commandments. Coming in at number 43. 42. Comedy. I told you I have some comedy. Airplane. Leslie Nielsen. Not a bad. That's a lot of laughs in this one. 42. Airplane. Don't Call Me Shirley. Okay. 41 on my list. Comedy. Groundhog Day. Bill Murray. The day just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. That's Bill Murray. 42 on my list. 41. All right, some romance movies. The Thornbirds. It's about 8 hours of this, but I enjoyed it. The Thornbirds. Love. Unattainable. Forbidden and forever. So, I've got the Thornbirds in my top 50. Counting down, okay? So how are we doing? John Wayne, 50. That was... All right. John Wayne, 50. Rio Bravo. 49, Zero Dark 30. 48, Arlington Road. 47, The Shawshank Redemption. 46, 12 Angry Men. 45, Wonder Woman. 44, Justice League. 43, The Ten Commandments. 42, Airplane. 41, Groundhog Day. And 40, The Thornbirds. So what I want to do is from 50 to 40, I just repeated myself. Okay. Now let's keep moving along here. We're going to go to number 39. Remember the Thornbirds was number 40. That was Love. Another romance movie on my list. Love Story. Ali MacGraw and Ryan O'Neal. I love the soundtrack on this one. So I recommend that one, coming in at number 39. Okay. 38. You're going to be surprised with this one. 1,000,000 years BC. Raquel Welch, John Richardson, The Cavemen, The Beginning of Time. Watching this movie, I really felt what it was like for the cavemen of that era. They had nothing. No electricity, no water. They had to look for their food. That comes in at number 38. All right, 37. How about a Christmas movie? It's a Wonderful Life. James Stewart, Donna Reed. Auld Lang Syne. How about that one? Okay. Comes in at number 37. That's a classic. 37. 36. Mary Poppins. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Shim, shim, shimmery, shim, shimmery. That's Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. 36 on my list. Mary Poppins. Okay. 35. Little kids movie, but I liked it. The Sandlot. 1960s, what it was like. I played in the Sandlot when I was a kid. This really gave me a flavor. That comes in at number 35. Okay. 34, a baseball movie. Sports. Gary Cooper. Pride of the Yankees. Coming in at number 34. The Story of Lou Gehrig. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Okay. 33 on my list, right? Hoosiers. Gene Hackman. Barbara Hershey. Dennis Hopper. Yes, the Indiana high school basketball team wins the title. Hoosiers, what a classic. Okay. 32 on my list. How about a military movie? U-571. Matthew McConaughey, the submarine, has to fire the bomb against the enemy ships. U-2 71. That comes in at number 31, right? And number 30, The Next 3 Days with Russell Crowe. Now this was a good story. I liked it. Why? His wife's in prison, and he breaks her out. How? Watch the movie with Russell Crowe and Elizabeth Banks, The Next 3 Days. Okay, so let's recap from 39 to 30. All right, shall we do that? 39, Love Story. 38, 1,000,000 years BC. 37, It's a Wonderful Life. 36, Mary Poppins. 35, The Sandlot. 34, Pride of the Yankees. 33, Hoosiers. 32, U-571. 31, The Next 3 Days. And number 30, Escape from Alcatraz, Clint Eastwood. Frank Morris, Escape off the military prison, San Francisco. Did the 3 convicts make it? That comes in number 30, okay? All right, let's count down. 29 on my list. Kurt Russell, Breakdown. His wife's kidnapped, and he has to find her and save her. It's a kind of disaster movie. That's Kurt Russell, Breakdown. Okay. I like this next one. Taken, number 28. Liam Neeson, his daughter's kidnapped, and he has to find her and save her from the men who prostitute girls in slave labor. Taken. Very well done movie. That's number 28. 27. Speed. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. This was a well done movie. The bus, out of control bus. So that comes in at number 27. 26. King Kong. This is the 1933 edition with Fay Wray. I recommend this one. This was very well done, especially in that time. So that comes in at number 26. 25. Terminator. The first Terminator was the best one. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton. I recommend that one as far as a disaster. It's in the science fiction genre. Okay, 25, 24, counting down. This will be in the science fiction genre. The Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. At night, when the full moon comes out, he turns into a wolf. How about that one? Number 23 on my list. Horror. The Exorcist. Linda Blair, Max von Sydow as the priest. That's a classic. The power of Christ compels you. So that comes in at number 23 on my list. 22, counting down. All right, now we're getting into the Bond series. Action. For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore. That's a lot of action in this movie. So he comes in at number 22. 21. Yes. Here we go. 21. Casino Royale, Daniel Craig. The Poker Game. For $5 million, is that right? 21. Comes James Bond series. And then continuing with it, number 20, Thunderball, Sean Connery. So recapping from number 29 down to number 20. Breakdown, Taken, Speed, King Kong, Terminator 1, The Wolfman, Exorcist, For Your Eyes Only, Casino Royale, and Thunderball. That's my list. Okay. Number 19. The Wizard of Oz. Julie Garland. Somewhere Over the Rainbow comes in at number 19 on my list. Number 18, James Bond. Octopussy, Roger Moore. The train scene and the circus and the bomb. And the end is really good on this one. So that is number 18. Number 17, United 93. The hijacked plane that was headed for Washington, D.C., but the passengers stop it. That's number 17, United 93. Number 16, A Perfect Storm, George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, the Andrew Gale. All right, I recommend that one. It's number 16. Number 15, another disaster movie. The Poseidon Adventure, Gene Hackman, Ernest Borgnine. The cruise ship crossed over, right? 15 on my list. Number 14, West Side Story, Natalie Wood, won Best Picture. 14 on my list. Number 13. Okay. Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. Classic. What a classic. Tippi Hedren, Rod Taylor. Okay. Number 13. Number 12. The Man Who Knew Too Much. James Stewart, Doris Day. I recommend that one. That's a classic. Que Sera, Sera. That was number 12. Number 11. Rear Window. James Stewart and Grace Kelly. Classic. Okay, so let's review what we did. From number 19, you have The Wizard of Oz, remember? And then you have Octopussy, United 93, The Perfect Storm, The Poseidon Adventure, West Side Story, The Birds, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and Rear Window. Okay? Now, my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Let's count down here. Pardon me if I'm out of your picture, but I will. I've got to grab the DVDs. Bear with me. The top 50 movies that I recommend. Number 10. The Passion of the Christ. Jim Caviezel plays Jesus. Mel Gibson directed it. I think it made over $500 million. If you haven't seen this one, it's outstanding and extraordinary. That's number 10. Number 9, Dial M for Murder. That's Grace Kelly. And a robber wants to strangle her to death. And she takes the scissors and fends him off and stabs him in the back. And that action scene was so well done. I've seen it many, many times. And the storyline is so well done. I got that number 9 on my list, Dial M for Murder. Number 8, The Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. James Cameron's 1997 won Best Picture. Titanic. This is the best Titanic movie of all of them produced. Number, let's see, That was number 7. Number 6, The Count of Monte Cristo, Jim Caviezel. Edmond Dante's story, prison, and he escapes and gets revenge. Yes. That comes in at number 7. I said Titanic was 7. Actually, Titanic is number 8. I'll review it again, okay? 7. 6. The Great Escape, Steve McQueen. One of the best war movies I've ever seen. The 50 of them escaped from the concentration camp in Germany. The Great Escape, what a classic. That was number 6. Number 5. The Magnificent Seven, a Western. Yul Brynner, Eli Wallach, Steve McQueen. The 7 cowboys saved the Mexican village from the bandits. What a classic that one was. That comes in at number 5. Number 4. High Noon. Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly, the lone sheriff, the only one who can fend off the robbers from taking over the town. He's the sheriff, Gary Cooper. High Noon, one of my favorites. That was number 4. Number 3, Shane. Alan Ladd, Jean Arthur, and Van Heflin. If you haven't seen Shane, this has the most famous gunfight in the bar saloon that I've ever seen. Shane against Jack Palance in the saloon. And Shane says, "You're a low down Yankee liar." And there's a gunfight. You gotta see that scene. Shane. This is the best Western out of all my favorites. Shane saves the town from the evil robbers who want to take over the homesteads. Shane, number 3. Number 2, Mutiny on the Bounty, Marlon Brando as Fletcher Christian, Trevor Howard as Captain Bligh. The mutiny on the Bounty, Captain Bligh is sent off the ship in a boat, and the mutineers escape to Victorian Island. This is a true story. It happened in the 1700s. And this is my favorite Mutiny on the Bounty show. Okay? And number 1, baseball. Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner. The White Sox in 1919 threw the World Series. They gambled it away to receive money. So in this Field of Dreams, you have the cornfields in Iowa, and those banished White Sox players who never got to play or finish their career after that, they come back through the cornfield and play on the Field of Dreams. And one of them says, "Is this heaven? If you will build it, he will come." Field of Dreams, I got that as number 1. So let's recap from 10 to number 1. Passion of the Christ, Dial M for Murder, Titanic, Count of Monte Cristo, The Great Escape, The Magnificent Seven, High Noon, Shane, Mutiny on the Bounty, and The Field of Dreams. Okay, that's my top 50. Now you may question, what about all these other movies? that are out there. Why don't you have them included? Well, I wanted to give a broad spectrum of drama, action, mystery, comedy, classics, musical. But I'll give honorable mention to, I put a list here together. Let's see what you think. Pearl Harbor, Shallow Hal, Red Eye, In the Bedroom, Ocean's 11, Towering Inferno, Rainmaker, Gladiator, Airport, Earthquake, Castaway, The Vanishing, Open Range, Sleeping with the Enemy, Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan, Bullet, Gettysburg, A Few Good Men, Dirty Dancing, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man's, Enemy at the Gates, Ben-Hur, Greatest Story Ever Told, Executive Decision, While You Were Sleeping, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Real McCoy, The Net, Jason Bourne, Gone with the Wind, Rio Grande, The Searchers, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Signs, Aquaman, Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, Fast and Furious, Delta Force, Mission Impossible, and Planet of the Apes. So what do you think of my top 50 of all time? Sorry if I was a little discombobulated. I had to find the DVDs and I had to do the countdown and get the right number of order. But you got a flavor of my top 50. What do you think? Okay. Ken Artizone, thanks for watching. I'm out.